Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a blood-splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jacula.
And today we're going to talk about Dead Male, a horror thriller from writer-directors Kyle McConaughey and Joe DeBoer. I apologize if I mispronounce their names, but that's how I think they're pronounced. Dead Male is a movie with an ensemble cast. It's about a lot of things, but the main thing it's about is a character named Josh, who is a synthesizer engineer who goes into business with a guy named Trent, who eventually kidnaps him and holds him hostage. And while that's going on, he sneaks out a piece of mail that's like a help me letter that doesn't seem to have like an address on it that ends up in the post office. And this guy, Jasper, who's basically a dead male detective.
Yeah.
He hunts down dead mail and tries to get it to where it's supposed to go. Him and his coworkers, Bess and I think Anne or something like that, are trying to track down this piece of mail. Those are the two things that are happening in this movie. There's a lot of twists and turns that happen throughout the movie that we can't talk about because they're major spoilers.
Yeah.
But that's the crux of what's going on in this movie. This is a very unique thriller. It's like one half a like I've been kidnapped and held hostage movie, but it's also like a character study on the guy who's holding him hostage too.
Yes. Yeah.
Like almost like a maniac kind of thing. Where
He reminds me a lot of Creep, actually.
Creep. I could see that. I could see that. It also reminded me a little bit of like Psycho, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like it goes into his psyche the same way it goes into Norman Bates's psyche.
Yeah, and it's a very bizarre, twisted place.
It is. It is. He's kind of like in this weird zone where he's like simultaneously in it for like his love of the music, but he also seems to have like a weird obsession with the guy himself.
Yeah.
But you're not sure if it's like a queer love situation or if it's something else.
Yeah, you get the feeling that the guy himself is definitely queer, but he's queer in that way that like Jeffrey Dahmer was queer.
Yeah.
Not like, this is not like normal.
No, there's something off about it. It's wrong.
Yeah.
There's something wrong about it. Now, a key feature of this movie is that it takes place in the 80s, so all of the modern luxuries of technology we have are not available to these characters.
Yeah.
So they have to use a lot of analog technology in order to figure out this situation.
Yeah, like the internet or like a cell phone would fuck this plot up.
It would, big time. Because there's a lot of things that happen where if a character had access to a cell phone and could just call somebody in the middle of it, the situation would have no tension.
Yeah.
It'd be gone.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, well, someone's just gonna call somebody.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. But the thing that's most interesting about this movie is the dead male element of it.
Yeah.
It's the whole behind the scenes of the post office trying to track down this piece of dead mail to figure out what house it came from or where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, and the character of Jasper has this guy in, we assume Munich.
Yeah,
he's like
definitely
German.
It's definitely like Eastern European going on.
Yeah. Like maybe East Berlin or something, you know, because it's set during the 80s. Because you definitely get the feeling he's not supposed to be talking to this guy.
Yeah, and this guy has like all this private information on where people live and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This database.
Yeah, like this guy is definitely like an 80s hacker who deals in information.
So it's just like, hey, I got this information. What can you track down for me? It's just like, okay, White House, this neighborhood, the letter J. Okay, here's these 5 things that I found that it could be. You know?
Yeah.
And then it becomes up to Jasper to try to narrow down which one it is.
Yeah.
And that part of the movie is probably like the most interesting when you're not just going into like the psyche of the guy who's holding him hostage.
Yeah. Plus, it's a very simple premise, but like a fucking Hitchcock movie, there are a lot of weird twists and turns.
Yeah, that's the thing. The movie is very simple on the surface.
Yeah.
But if you actually sit down and break down all the plot beats that happen throughout it, it's actually fairly intricate and complicated.
Yeah, it's super complicated. Yeah.
To the point where the movie will show us a set of events from one perspective and then go back and show us the other perspective and how different it is now that we know this information and stuff.
Yeah. It definitely knows how to draw the audience into what's happening. You know, it's definitely a movie where the audience has more information than the characters. So there's a lot of suspense going on.
It is a little slow at times, but I almost feel like that works to its favor because its slowness feels less like bad pacing and more like atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Because the movie is set in the 80s, so things are a little bit slower than they are in the modern day, just overall people's daily lives.
Yeah, also we're dealing with the mail.
And also we're dealing with a synthesizer engineer.
Yeah.
So the entire soundtrack is this kind of like slow, melodic synthesizer music, very ambient almost.
Yeah. Like it's a couple of notes.
Yeah. Like, if I was a little bit more tired when watching this, I could see myself falling asleep to just the noise of the movie.
Yeah.
If there wasn't all, like, the screaming and, like, the...
Yeah. You could tell, one of the things you could tell about the movies, whoever wrote the script knows a lot about the history of synthesizers.
Yes. As well as knowing intricacies about how mail works.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff there that I just didn't know.
Yeah. You wouldn't have thought of it.
No,
you know?
Not at all. So overall, it's a very simple movie. It's very well acted. I love the atmosphere of it. I love where it goes.
Yeah.
It doesn't entirely go where I thought it was going to go. There are things that happen where I'm like, well, shit, what's going to happen now?
You know?
But I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and it's a gem of a film. It's currently available on Shudder. Go check it out there if you want to check it out yourself. And with that said, let's move on to the spoilers so we can talk about all the twists and turns that we can't talk about right now. So, here we go. This movie pulls a psycho.
It does.
Because the movie opens up with Jasper, the dead male detective guy, receiving the piece of mail, and then we see him going about like his daily life, building up the courage to actually like look into this piece of mail. Because at first he just dismisses it as like a prank.
Yeah, either a prank or there's no way I'm going to be able to figure this one out.
But eventually he gets like a bee in his bonnet, and it's just like, I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to track this down. But in between this journey of doing that, which is like the first 30 minutes of the movie, we see him at like the post office doing his job, like tracking down like a necklace. So we see how his process works.
Yeah.
We see him going to it's a safe house for men.
There's like this, I don't know what you call it, like low income housing.
Yeah. And it's specifically for men with no money.
Yeah.
And so you see him go there, befriend a guy there who he invites to live in his room with him, and then go back to the post office to finally start looking into the dead male that the movie's named after, only for that guy to show up and kill him.
Yeah. And that's when you realize that guy is the killer.
Yeah. He's the guy who kidnapped the guy. And that's when the movie reverts back before the dude was kidnapped and tells the story about how he and the person he kidnapped met and went into business with one another. And then the Josh character, the one that gets kidnapped, starts going into business with the Japanese with his synthesizer.
Yeah.
Much to Trent's anger. And so Trent turns on him, kidnaps him, and then makes him work for him in his garage.
Yeah.
So like right there, you already have a bunch of twists and turns that happens. The character who's ostensibly the main character has been killed in the first act. And now we're reverting to a different character, which is the Josh character. And while that's happening, there's also the character of Beth and Anne at the post office who are friends with Jasper, and them trying to like figure out what's going on.
Yeah, because they're Jasper's friends and they're and co-worker, and so they're like, oh.
And also killing the security guard at the post office, too.
And making it look like the security guard killed Jasper.
Yep, absolutely. Which doesn't sit right for Beth and Anne. What's going on? This doesn't seem right. He was always an ass, but I don't think he would kill this guy.
Yeah. What reason would he have?
And so what you end up doing at this point is you watch the two of them reverse engineer how Jasper worked.
Yeah.
To figure out what's going on here, and even get in contact with his contact.
Yeah.
To try to track down the house that the mail came from. There's a really tense scene. Again, a scene that would have been killed by a fucking cell phone existing.
Yeah.
Where one of them goes inside the house with the killer, realizes it is the fucking killer, and that someone's chained in the fucking bathroom, but is stuck inside while the other one's in the car.
Yeah.
The ultimate conclusion of this movie is they actually do end up saving Josh and getting him free, and the killer ends up essentially killing himself.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the killer's given a point in which he could kill Josh and kill the person who is trying to save Josh, and decides not to because he loves Josh too much.
Yeah.
Even though it is very, like, slow and methodical, it's also funny at times.
Yeah, it is funny at times.
There's a lot of very humorous moments. There's also a lot of weirdly sweet moments.
Yes.
even between the killer and the kidnapper at certain points.
Yeah. Well, it's what makes the movie work.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a very weird movie, but it works on the power of like the performances of everyone involved, as well as the atmosphere of the movie.
Yeah.
As well as the unique way it tells the series of events.
Yes. Yeah. It's really well done.
It's non-linear, but it's also not like all over the place.
It's one of those movies that's less about the plot and more about watching the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes that are not like something you dissect from like a metaphorical or like thematic point of view.
No.
There's like a lot of scenes of like Josh is stuck in the bathroom. How is he going to get out of the bathroom?
Yeah.
And get the mail into the mailbox.
Yeah. Even if you can predict everything that's going to happen in this movie, which by the way, good luck, because like that's how the movie fucks with you. It really is just watching these events unfold.
Absolutely. This movie is a vibe. And it's a hard vibe to describe. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, where can they find you, Count Chocula?
Oh, you can find me here on YouTube, where I stream every weeknight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. How about you?
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me on various social media platforms, but these days, I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. And if you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag synthesized.
This movie is a mood.
It's a mood.
It is a mood. Or should I say a moog?
A moog?
Because we're talking about synthesizers.
Fair.
You know,
fair.
Moog synthesizers. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yamaha. Yama
Dabba Doo. What's going on here?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what the what's the inverse of ha. I was trying to come up with that, and I was like, no, that didn't work. Sometimes I get away from you.
Peace out, everyone. We'll catch y'all later.